Hi, Pete's fans. Welcome to another episode of For Pete's Sake, your podcast on everything Peterborough Pete's. I am your co-host, Josh Reeser. As always, in the chair next to me is co-host, twin brother, and Encyclopedia of OHL Knowledge, Matt Reeser. It is December 17th today, which means Christmas is just around the corner. And it is feeling like the holiday season around here and in Peterborough. And the Petes have certainly been giving us some things to be excited and joyful about recently. Another 2 games this week and 3 of a possible 4 points. We had a win and an overtime loss. You know what a win means? It's time for Ric Flair. I'll start it off this time. Woo! And Matt Reese. Woo! That was a weak sauce, but I'll give it to you. I'll give it to you. Yeah. You got to save your voice because there's more coming. So I'll let that one slide. We had another great week of Pete's hockey, like we mentioned. 2 games, and better than that, 2 games against teams from the East, from the Eastern Conference and from the Pete's division. And to have success like that can only benefit the Pete's in the long run. It'll be a confidence builder, and it'll certainly help in those standings as well. So we will break down those 2 games for you. We have our 3 stars of the week. Again, a nice problem to have, but it was tough to pick just 3 because we had a lot of good standouts this week. We'll tell you who we thought deserved the gold, silver, and bronze. Also, around the corner, it's Christmas time in households around North America, around the world, and it is also World Junior Hockey time, which gets me fired up and excited. They did announce the the roster for Team Canada, barring I guess any injuries, and there were several OHL players selected to Team Canada. We'll give you the details on some notable names and perhaps some notable omissions as well. And the Petes are right back at it for a final home and away game before a little bit of holiday break. So we'll break down the week ahead for you as well. But without further ado, let's recap some action from the past week. On Thursday, the Petes played the hated Oshawa Generals at the Memorial Center, and the Petes came away with an exciting 4-3 overtime victory. Now, Oshawa fans might say, oh, we were missing Beckett Seneca, we were missing Callum Ritchie, they were at camp, our starting goalie's been injured. Doesn't matter. Petes were a great team in this one. They were the better team, and they deserve to win. And any win against Oshawa is that much sweeter.
We've been missing our starting goalie for
Yeah, exactly. We've had Zach Bowen sidelined for how long now? So excuses. They're just sad because we beat them again. Anyways, Jonathan Malik, captain, he's been playing really well lately. I notice I think he's kind of turned his game up. Maybe come mid-November, start of December. This game no different. He got on the board a nice shorthanded goal, a nice play by McCallum to knock the puck away, head up the ice, and then dish a feed over to McCallum, who made no doubt and fired it in. Quick piece of trivia for these. How many shorthanded goals do you think the Petes have this year?
3.
And how many of those 3 does Jonathan Malik have?
All 3.
All 3. You are correct. He is a specialist on the PK. Maybe other teams should just decline their power plays because Malik is scoring with a man down. He seems to thrive in those situations, and absolutely awesome to do it in front of the home crowd against those rival Generals. Petes would continue that momentum. They came out flying in that second period. They scored another one, but it was actually disallowed. But good on the Petes for showing some resilience, staying on momentum, and it was the young guns, the 2 first-round picks from this past year, Gowan and Fitzgerald, teaming up with Fitzgerald, potting the goal. Defenseman Matichuk, who's been on a hot streak lately, he would give the Petes a 3-1 lead. That's actually, I believe, his 3rd goal in two straight games.
Yep.
Yeah, not really known as a super offensive defenseman, but nice when he can contribute from the back end, and he's playing well. So very deserved to get some points there. Oshawa would use the power play to their advantage and send the game into overtime. I know Pete's fans were a little bit anxious because this seemed like a game similar this year where several times where they've played very well, been the better team, only to have it just slip away at the last moment. But good on the boys. Overtime hockey. And Gavin Bryant, who has been a very, very solid trade so far, 49 seconds in, gets the winning goal. A very, very spirited game. Lots of tussles back and forth. Liam Lads dropped the gloves, did okay in a fight. And at one point, Ryder McIntyre stepped in after Fitzgerald took an absolutely massive hit at the offensive blue line. Nice to see him step in and send a message saying, we protect our younger guys. And he actually got, 2, 5, and a 10. So he was out for the remainder of the game. But you could see the guys, how much they appreciated it, just high-fiving them, how much the fans loved it, stepping up for that young kid. And one of my favorite things to watch is after a 4-3 overtime goal, the celebration that the boys have. Easton Rye was fired up. He skates out. Everyone, starts, hugging each other, high-fiving, jumping, selling. I love how close-knit this team is, how much they love winning, and how much joy a win brings fans and a team, especially when it's an intriguing overtime one like this. So I thought it was a great night of hockey, maybe one of the most entertaining ones I've watched this year, and the outcome, like I said, in overtime, just fantastic. So a great game there. I'm going to turn it over to Matt Reese for the next night where the Petes headed east to challenge the Ottawa 67s. And how did that one go, Matt?
Yeah. And do you think the game versus Oshawa would have been any different if that goal counted and you're up 4-1 instead of 3-1? Because they would have been up 3-0 if.
Yeah.
And then does that change the whole script? And
it's tough to know because it's such like they like 3 goals they say is the worst lead in hockey, but I don't know. I mean, I think it probably would have lit a bit more of a fire under the Generals to attack. I don't know, and I'm not sure. That's a great question. I don't really have an answer for that one. I just really love how it didn't get the Petes down.
Yeah.
A disallowed goal at that time, it's a big goal because it's giving you insurance. It can be deflating.
Yeah.
It can be really deflating to work hard, think you've got one, have it called back, and it didn't take the wind out of the sails of the Petes. They kept going, and if anything, it gave them a little more juice and bite, and I think it helped get them the win in the sense that it gave them a bit more emotion to play with.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, so they go down to Ottawa. This one turned into a 3-2 loss in overtime, so Pete's grab a point again. Easton Rye started back-to-back games for the first time, which is nice to see, and he looked spectacular in this one.
Yeah.
He made 44 saves, 18 in the first period alone. You can't say enough about what he's done in the crease since he's kind of taken over. I thought Johnson was going to start, so when I saw the sheet, and I was like, oh, Rye's going back-to-back. But I guess you need to see what Rye can give you back-to-back.
Yeah.
So it's a perfect opportunity on a 2-game week to give him a start.
For sure.
Caden Taylor would actually get the Petes on the board first. He's starting to score a little bit more frequently, which is nice to see. He got a nice backhand Deacon goal. Ottawa would score in the second, and then they grabbed the lead actually 2 minutes into the third period. But then the Petes were resilient again, battled back. McIntyre basically put the guy on his back and just drove to the net hard and tucked the puck by the goalie, and it's 2-2. And then the Petes stayed with them for the rest of the period and then went into overtime. But overtime was very quick. Ottawa just kind of went up the ice, caught a guy out of position, and then tucked the puck in 23 seconds into overtime.
Yeah.
But again, you go into Ottawa, grab a point off a back-to-back. Ottawa didn't play the night before.
And back-to-back overtime games. Like you're tired from an extra frame, a very emotional game the night before. So back-to-back OTs, like a very promising
And it's
promising
3
sign.
points against your division.
Absolutely.
So you can't be too upset about that. And I don't know if you saw, but Page probably delivered the hit of the year. I
My
don't know
boy
if you saw
Page,
that through
absolutely.
the neutral zone. Just
I love that.
clean hit,
Yeah.
shoulder on body, sent the guy flying. Caden Kelly was like, okay, we're going to fight. And then Page just threw Kelly around like a rag doll.
Yeah, cleaned his clock.
So the Petes aren't backing down. They're playing. That's what I'd like to see. They're not taking dumb penalties anymore.
Yeah.
They're sticking in their game plan. They're letting the other team get kind of annoyed or distracted. And they're sticking up for each other. So all good signs in the physicality game lately, I'd say, from what I'm seeing.
Absolutely.
So yeah, overall thoughts this week. I think Easton Rye is the trust of the coaching staff and his team with his play right now.
And the fans.
Yeah. You can't say enough about him. I really like Gowan's game. I think his confidence is kind of growing. I think it's because he's in the lineup every game, which helps for sure as a defenseman.
Yep.
You're not seeing as much of Marin Teddy. I don't think he's played in about 4 games or 5 games. That's not because he's a bad player. It's just
there's a log jam back there.
Jenkins injured right now, so he hasn't been in the lineup. So they've been playing Ula and
and Eula's been playing well too. Like I like the look of both those guys. So it's just a numbers game, and if if Marin Ted keeps working on his game, I know he will. His chance will come, and hopefully he'll make the most of it.
Yeah. And then the thing I've liked lately is you want your overagers to make significant contributions, and you're seeing it every game now. You're seeing McIntyre take over physically or stick up for a teammate. You're seeing Malee score big goals. You're seeing Bryant score big goals.
Yep.
McIntyre getting the tying goal in Ottawa. Like, your overagers are putting the team on their back and saying, we can take this the rest of the way. We just need a little bit of help getting us there. But once they kind of get those defining moments, their overagers are kind of
for sure
carrying the ship, which is what you want to see.
Absolutely.
And then the penalty kill is really the only thing that's been struggling lately. They're killing only 50% of the penalties this week, so that's not great. But you always have a few cold weeks in a season.
Yep.
But they did score a shorthanded goal, so not too much to worry about. But again, maybe that's one area where you miss a Jankin because he's a good penalty killer. But I still like the direction they're heading. I've seen a lot of good things. You're really seeing what goalie depth they have in the organization. You're seeing what the overagers provide.
Yep.
You're seeing what the young guys can do. And another thing I like is they're moving Fitzgerald around. So they're putting him with Young and Malee last week, or Young and McCallum. And then some weeks they're getting him to drive the third line and putting him at center.
Yep.
Which I think is important because he's probably going to have to drive the line when the older guys are gone.
Yep.
But he's also learning how to play with good players. And they're all good players in the OHL, but he's learning to play with the upper overagers and how they kind of work and get open and stuff. So I really like the development course they're taking with Fitzgerald.
For sure.
And I'm excited to see what he can do because he's scoring. He looked confident. He's not afraid out there.
No.
He got hit by Danford hard.
Yeah.
And it didn't stop him from driving or going into the corners.
Yeah.
He wasn't intimidated.
Yeah. Agreed.
I don't know if there's anything else you saw that were impressed with that.
No, I've just been impressed again by how it's so easy when you're struggling in the standings to start blaming one another, to get on each other's case, to get negative, and I just love how they've stuck up for one another. I really liked McIntyre stepping in off that hit you just mentioned, and I just love seeing how much they love. They're happy for each other when they win. They're happy when they score. And a guy like Bryant, who, I didn't necessarily, I didn't hate the trade, but it's a trade, I didn't really understand at the time.
Yeah.
I said I would put the trust in the coaches, and I'm glad I did, because he comes over and he's just embraced the Petes, like him scoring, and then he does like the slide on his stomach and like tugs on his jersey, and he wants to be here and he wants to play here, and you just love to see that.
Yeah.
So I think it's the Petes that kind of found their groove lately. I hope they keep it going. I'm still intrigued with when Bowen comes back. Like, Rye has just exceeded every one of my expectations.
Yeah. And Johnson.
And Johnson too. They've both been so good. So I don't know. It's again, goalie depth, good problem to have. There's injuries like you've seen, like we've had with Bowen already. So, but yeah, certainly a good time to be a fan. It's always fun to support the boys, but it's more fun when they're winning. Let's be honest. So, let's keep it going.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, shall we dive into our 3 stars of the week?
Yeah.
All right, 3 stars of the week. Like we said, many deserving people. We've given some shout outs during the games. But we got to start with our goaltender, Easton Rye. 78 saves in back-to-back starts. And not only that, back-to-back overtime games. So extra time. Got to be exhausted. He's a significant reason for the point on the road. And he played very well against Oshawa to get them that win as well. He has been stellar since taking over. The guys have confidence in him. He's making the saves he has to make, and he's making some great saves that I don't even think he should be making, but he makes them anyways. So very, very impressed with Easton Rye and a solid week. Shout out to him. Number 1, no-brainer there. Second to Ryder McIntyre, a big goal against Ottawa where he just used his size and just out-muscled people and just decided he was scoring. And then that fight for Fitzgerald, I think that was a big point for the team against Oshawa. Oshawa threw a hit probably to try and get back in the game. And Fitzgerald was just like, nope, we're not going to, we're not going to back down. We're going to continue, playing, and we're not going to be intimidated, and this is our barn. So it was nice to see how much the guys love that after a big hit against a young gun. And then that very same Fitzgerald, like Matt mentioned, a goal against Oshawa. He's using his size and space very well, skates well for a big guy, and you love to see after taking that big hit, not intimidated, came right back out with the same level of intimidation and ferocity. It's going to happen when you play a physical game. You're going to take some licks. So he took a big one in front of the home fans, and that can rattle you for a bit, and it looked like he just dusted off and kept going. So 3 stars of the week: Easton Rye, Ryder McIntyre, Colin Fitzgerald. There's many, many other guys we can shout out, but for the sake of time, we'll give it to those 3 for right now, and we look forward to who will be our 3 stars after our next round of games.
Yep.
All right, our OHL news is going to be World Juniors based this week, minus the fact that I will say, no surprise, with a strong week, the Petes are back in those power rankings. They are not near the top, but our record isn't good enough to be near the top, but just to be mentioned as a team to look out for. All the pundits are saying, our record's not great, but the Petes are not a pushover. And that is absolutely right. I don't think they've been a pushover for much of the season, to be honest, but we are certainly not 2 points you can take for granted anymore. We've beaten some good teams. We've played really well against some good teams. So watch out, OHL. The Petes are on a roll, and we are going to keep it going. We're going to play hard, whether we win, lose, and I think with the confidence we have now, I think we can win a lot more than we lose going forward.
Yeah.
Absolutely. But anyways, World Juniors around the corner. I've mentioned it before, one of my favorite times of year. The breakdown, 14 players from the OHL, 8 from the WHL, and just 2 from the Quebec League this year. So forwards, Jet Lachenko, Luca Pinelli, Carson Rakoff, Callum Ritchie, Porter Martone, one of the, there was 3 players that haven't been drafted yet. He's one of the eligible ones for this year. Cole Bedoin, Easton Cowan, those are your forwards from the OHL. Defensemen from the OHL, Andrew Gibson, Sam Dickinson, Oliver Bonk, Bo Aki, and Matthew Schaefer. He's another one of those eligible for the upcoming draft. And 2 goalies from the OHL selected in Jack Ivanovic and Carter George. Some notable cuts from the team: Zane Pareka out from Saginaw Spirit, a guy that was kind of a late invite to camp, and another late invite as well, Beckett Seneca, both returns to their OHL teams from Team Canada camp. So I think that's a pretty solid squad of OHL players. It would be very tough to be that management and have to throw a team together. And obviously some guys are going to be disappointed, and there's going to be some people that question you. But if you go and you take care of business and you win that gold medal like Canada's expected to every year, then no one questions you.
Yeah.
So all they can do now is go out there. Starts on Boxing Day. Play a solid tournament on home soil this year in Ottawa, and hopefully the crowd and the nation gets behind them. It's so much fun to watch, and hopefully they bring back the gold medal just like we have so many times in the past. I'm looking forward to watching starting Boxing Day.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of surprised the breakdown with only 2 Quebec major league players going.
Yeah.
I mean, it doesn't matter. At this stage, they're all good players. You're going to cut some people that... but I don't know if I've ever seen a breakdown with that few of the Quebec League players going to the World Juniors.
Yeah.
And it looks like our defense is like all OHL guys. There's 5 OHL guys on the back end.
Yeah.
Out of the 8, I think, that are... Yeah, which is, I mean, the coach is from Ottawa, 67, so, and the players are deserving that are there.
Yep.
100%. There's always deserving players. There's ones that are cut that are probably deserving. But it'll be interesting just to see how they do. I think they have a good squad, a lot of different guys. Nice to see a local guy like Martone get on there.
For sure.
And I'm excited that there's a bunch of Brampton Steelheads on there, so we don't have to play them when we play back-to-backs after the Christmas break.
Absolutely.
So it works out for a lot of different reasons.
Right you are.
Yeah.
Right you are.
So yeah, we've got the Petes have 2 games before they go into their break. They're going to see again 2 teams from their division, so why not end on a positive going into the break? They've got the 67s coming into town on Thursday. They've played them twice, and both games have kind of scripted the same way. The Petes have jumped out to a lead, but then Ottawa's kind of speed takes over, and they start kind of hemming the Petes in for large portions of the game, and then they tie it up, and then usually find a late winner or take it to overtime and win like this last week. So you just got to kind of watch out for their speed. They have the top power play in the Eastern Conference, so you want to kind of keep them off the man advantage, which is hard to do when they're fast, but just kind of keep your sticks out of the lane, in the lanes, but not at the feet, or take penalties because they have some agitators on their team. I think the Petes are very familiar with Stonehouse and Caden Kelly.
Yeah. I think there's like overall team-wise, I despise London the most.
Yeah.
But player-wise, it might be Stonehouse.
Yeah.
Like, he is just a thorn in the side of the Petes.
Yeah.
He's a little agitator out there. So
Yeah.
I was unhappy when I saw he was coming back from, I think it was Edmonton,
Yeah.
the Oilers. I think they sent him back earlier this year. I was not happy to see him come back.
Yeah. But it's a big game in your division. Get some momentum against Ottawa going. Should be a good one, to be honest.
For sure.
And then the Petes wrap up their first half against Kingston on the road. Kingston, we know they're a top team. They're in a little bit of a funk right now. Lost a couple of games. But they've won all 4 meetings this season. The last 2 have been closer. We started the year off at home against them and lost 7-2. But since then, the games have been decided by like 2 goals or 1 goal.
Yep.
And the last 2 were decided by 1 goal.
Yep.
So that's a good sign. They've got to start shutting down Cedric Goudon. He's got their number all season. He scored like twice in a bunch of the games. He plays with Battaglia on that line and Soto. So getting those guys kind of off the score sheet is important. And I don't know if you remember, but the last time they played this team, they went to a shootout and the Pete's goalie stopped the first 3 Kingston shooters and we didn't score any, and then the 4th shooter got the winner.
Yeah.
I don't know if you remember that. So they can do it. It's a team they can beat.
Yep.
But again, they have some agitators. Medema on the up front. I don't know. He got Bowen injured last year by crashing into him.
Yeah.
He likes to get under players' skin, so you got to keep yourself in check, stay within your game. And their power play is the second best in the Eastern Conference. So you're going up against the first and second best power play this week.
Yeah.
So you're going to have a good penalty kill. You're going to have to stay disciplined. And you can walk away with 2 wins here.
Absolutely.
If they keep playing the way they're playing.
Yep.
You're going to be well rested. You didn't play Saturday or Sunday, so you've got a lot of
And you got a break coming up after, so leave it all on the ice.
Empty the tank.
Exactly.
In these 2 games.
Yeah, that's what I'd be saying. As a coach, you guys have been playing really well. Let's end, the unofficial first half of the year like super strong.
Yeah.
Get a couple points. Like, why not? Why not go into the Christmas break feeling good about yourselves?
Yeah. I would love to see the Petes just blow a team out.
That'd be amazing.
For one game.
Yeah.
Like this, it's going to happen because it happens every year, but I'd love to see them just beat a team like 6-1 or like 4-0.
Yeah.
Just
dominate
a game.
In every aspect of the game. They can do it.
Yeah.
They've got the guys to do it. If they play well, they certainly can.
Yeah. So
not out of the realm of the question. Well, anyways, that is our show for today. A little bit shorter episode, only 2 games. We hope you guys are having a good start to the holiday season. Get your Christmas shopping done and staying warm out there. It's been cold a couple of days last week. I know it's rainy this week and some of the snow's leaving, but hopefully you guys stay warm and safe out there driving. When it gets rainy and freezing, it can be a little treacherous out there. So make sure you guys stay safe, stay warm, and we hope you guys have a good final week of Pete's OHL hockey. We hope to see you guys out at the game on Thursday, and we hope you tune in and support the boys for their final one in Kingston. And we wish you guys all a Merry Christmas and a great holiday season. You can find our podcast on Facebook. We'll post the videos there as we always do. I will have the links to our videos on our Instagram page at 4PTB Pete's Sake. If you like to listen to the audio, it'll be posted on Spotify as well. So I'll have the link there as well as to our YouTube page. So as always, thanks again for listening. Happy holidays from the Reeser Boys. And as always, we end with a Go Pete's Go!